Hello, it's Sonia here, the Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today we are going to be doing another ear warmer project. And for this project, I am using my eye hook or 5.5mm hook. And I have already started it, so I'm going to show it to you. So I have it right here. So this is the crocheted version of, I already have the knit version out, which is the snow swirl, and this is the crocheted version of the snow swirl. So if you liked the knitted version and don't know how to knit, then you could make the crocheted version. So I'm still working on it, and I'm using this worsted weight number 4 yarn, but you could use heavier yarn. You could use a different size hook, like let's say, and especially if you wanted it wider too, so you could bump up a hook size and use heavier yarn. The sample, the knitted sample, I used number 6 yarn and larger needles. But for this version, I am using the 5.5mm hook and worsted weight yarn. So definitely you can play around with it, and you can make this to fit any head size. So let's get started. So I am going to show you how to do this. All right, so to begin, we're going to chain 15. So we have our 15 chains. So in the second chain from our hook, we're going to work in that back bump, and we're going to work a single crochet in the back bump, and we're just going to single crochet all the way across for row 1, and you will have 14 single crochet. Okay, so we finished row 1. So now we're going to work row 2. Row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And this is the even side, so all of the even rows will be the right side of our work. So we're just going to double crochet in that first stitch, and we're going to double crochet all the way across. So you probably noticed this is a cabling project, and we will cable soon, I promise. But we have to do a couple setup rows before we can get to the fun part with the cabling. So this is row 2, so you're double crocheting all the way across. So row 3 is going to be a repeat of row 1. You are going to single crochet all the way across for row 3. So when you get to the end of row 2, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to single crochet in that first stitch and single crochet all the way across. So I am going to go do that. So I will meet you back at the end of row 3. Okay, so I have my 3 rows. So I finished that single crochet row. So row 4, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. So now we're going to get started with our cabling. So what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over twice, because we're going to do front post triple crochet. So we're going to skip the first 2 stitches, and we are going to be working in these double crochet stitches. So the single crochet basically are like placeholders, so all of the wrong side of your work you're going to single crochet across. So basically it's just to get you to where you need to be for cabling, because I really don't like doing back post stitching, so I try to avoid it so we can do all the cabling on the right side. Alright, so we're going to skip 2 stitches, so we're skipping the first double crochet, the second one, and we're going to work front post triple crochet around that third double crochet. And we're going to work front post triple crochet around the next one. So now we need to go back and work in the double crochet that we skipped. So we're going to work front post triple crochet around that first double crochet. So I'm just crossing over, I'm working in front. And now we need to go work front post triple crochet around the other double crochet that we skipped. So we have created our first cable. Now keep in mind, with most cabling projects, whether it's knitting or crocheting, you need to get quite a few rows in before the stitch pattern really starts to pop out. Okay, so now we need to continue. So our next 2 stitches, we're just going to work front post triple crochet. So now we are going to skip the next 2 and we're going to work front post triple crochet around the next 2. So now we need to go back and work in the ones we skipped. So we're going to yarn over twice, go back in that first one we skipped, work front post triple crochet. And now we need to go back into the other one that we skipped and work front post triple crochet. Alright, so now we're going to skip the next 2 stitches and work front post triple crochet around the next 2. Okay, so now we need to go back and work on the ones we skipped. So working behind, we're going to go behind these stitches. So you're just going to do a little hook gymnastics there. Grab your stitch and we're working front post triple crochet. And we need to work in the other one again, working behind. And you can move these stitches around, you're not going to hurt a thing, so you can get a little aggressive if you need to. Okay, so there is row 4. So now we're going to work row 5. Row 5 is an odd row, so that means it's a single crochet row, so you're just going to single crochet across. So if you're having trouble finding where the stitches are, sometimes because we're crossing over and it kind of gets them all jumbled up. So I find if you turn quiet. What are you barking at? Tilky. Let mommy finish and then I'll help you. So I find if you turn the work this way, you can see the tops of the stitches. It makes it easier to show where to work. Okay, so I finished up row 5. So let's begin row 6. So I've already chained 1. I'm going to turn my work. So now we're going to do more cabling. So I'm going to yarn over twice. So I've yarned over twice. In our first stitch, we're working a front post triple crochet around the previous one. So we're not going to be cabling in the single crochet stitches, only in the triple crochet stitches. So now I'm going to work front post triple crochet again. We're just going to work straight across. So our first 4 stitches are front post triple crochet, and we're not crossing over, skipping anything like that. So just working 4 across. So we worked 4 across. So now we're going to go back to doing some more cabling. So we're going to skip the next 2 stitches and we're going to work front post triple crochet around the next. So you have to be careful because these like to hide. So you can see it almost only looks like 4 stitches here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. But we have these guys hiding out behind here. So we cannot forget those. So we're going to be working in those stitches. And as you can see, I kind of just shove these guys aside to bring them forward. And it does not hurt your work, so don't be afraid that you're going to mess something up. They're very sturdy stitches, which is nice. So I'm working front post triple crochet around both of those. Okay, so now we're going to go back and we have to work in the ones we skipped. So I'm yarning over twice. We're going to work behind, so that's that hook gymnastics. So I like to point my hook down, push those guys forward, and just grab that first stitch with my hook and work that front post triple crochet stitch. And now we need to do the other one. So again, I'm just kind of moving them, holding them with my fingers and grabbing that stitch, and it does not hurt a thing. So now we work front post triple crochet around the next 6 stitches. So that means we're working front post triple crochet around these guys here, and then these last 4 here. And sometimes it's easy to miss the last 2 that kind of likes to hide behind, so you just kind of have to find it and work those stitches. You should always have the same amount of stitches, so we have 14 stitches. So each row you should always have 14 stitches. So there is row 6. Doesn't look a whole lot of anything right now, but again, you just have to get a couple rows in and then the pattern starts to emerge. Okay, so we're going to chain 1, turn our work for row 7, and that is a single crochet row. And again, if you're having trouble finding your stitches, especially like here, like right here, they're nice and straight across, but then you get here and they're kind of like all over the place. So again, if you turn your work so you're looking at the top, you can kind of see, okay, here they go. And you can find those stitches that you need to work. And again, you should have 14. So what you're going to do for this stitch pattern is you are going to be repeating rows 4 through 7 for however long you need until it fits comfortably around your head. So just keep repeating rows 4 through 7, and then we will take both ends and stitch them closed to make our ear warmer. So there we go. So let me show you the one I'm currently working on so you can definitely see now you can see the pretty stitch pattern, where right now it's just looking kind of like, what is that? That's always how it is with cables. You're kind of like, am I doing it right? I'm not 100% sure. And then as you go farther in, you're like, oh, I am doing it right. So I am going to keep going on here. I'm probably almost halfway done with this guy. And it does, I know that you can, there's a little bit of see-through, but it's a pretty thick stitch pattern. So I do think it's going to provide quite a bit of warmth, even though it's not completely opaque, like, you know, you can still see through it a little bit. But I'm going to keep going, finishing up my ear warmer, and I will meet you back. Okay, so here is my finished ear warmer. So I ended on a row 4 of the cable row, and then I ended on a row 5 for the single crochet row. So my ear warmer is about 20 inches long. I have a small head, so you just stitch yours until it fits comfortably around your head. And again, I just think it looks nicer ending on a row 4 cable row and then row 5 single crochet. So now we need to attach the end so that it's an actual ear warmer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stitch across. Now you could sew it, you could just cut your yarn and then just sew across, but I'm going to slip stitch because I don't like sewing. So I just have my right sides touching, and then I'm going to work across the ends of row 1 and then my last row. So just working on those ends and just slip stitching across. Okay, so I finished working my slip stitch across, so of course I need to cut my yarn. And again, if you don't want to stitch it, you could just sew it across. That's perfectly fine. And now we just need to turn it right side out. And there we go. So this is the crocheted version of the knit version Snow Swirl. So this is Snow Swirl crochet style. So of course you'll need to weave in any loose ends and you'll need to block it. And I just think it's a really nice, comfortable ear warmer. It does have a little bit of stretch to it, and you just pop it over your head. Of course, that would be the back side. But I hope you enjoyed this project, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.